more accurate detail. But the story, just as it will happen here, is true. The era in history from 1860 to 1900 was considered to be the period in which the gunfighter, the cold-blooded killer and robber, was in his prime in the West. From the Rio Grande to the mighty Pacific Ocean, up to the Canadian border, and down to the muddy Mississippi River, just a few miles from where you're standing right now, gunfighters ran rampant. Many started out as simply young men looking for adventure. Others learned to use guns skillfully in the Civil War, which had just concluded. And some, including the notorious Gore brothers, who usually die for their sins in the story, just like the idea of killing. A gunfighter may have looked much like any of the other thousands that the frontiersmen to a newcomer. But to those who lived there in the 1880s, it was usually easy to pick them out. In their constant practice of preying on honest, hard-working people who carried their gold with them much of the time, they developed a mean, cruel streak. You could spot it if you looked closely. Over there, for instance, by the barber shop, that's Jeremiah Gore, one of the meanest, most notorious bank robbers and killers on the frontier. And over there, by the saloon, see the cat-like watch with a shifty eye. That's Jeremiah's equally cold-blooded brother, Baxter Gore. Both of these men were known outlaws who killed just for the sheer thrill of it, as they robbed banks, stages, and mines of their gold, even when there was no resistance. These two outlaws had stolen spirited horses from the Comanche Indians only last night, and now had them tied just around the corner. The date was Friday the 13th, considered unlucky by some, but to these cold-blooded killers it meant nothing. They always felt they made their own luck with their guns. Notice that they walk into the bank, not quite at the same time, as though they never saw each other before. There's Luke Settles, the local Abilene Wells Fargo agent. The time is just a few minutes before 3, the bank's closing time. He's on his way to make a last-minute deposit. As he enters the bank, he sees that the Gore brothers are holding it up. Now, Luke sees what's happening and runs back into the street, crying for Marshal Potter to help those at the bank, mercy of the cold-blooded, ruthless Gore brothers. Back to the door, hears Luke sounding the alarm and comes to the door of the bank. Just as he would swat a fly and with no... Luke settles down in the dust with one well-placed shot. Marshal Potter and Deputy Billy Weathers heard the gunfire, which was the first inkling they'd had that there was trouble. They spotted Luke in the street and ran to him. With his dying breath, Luke tells the marshal that the Gore brothers are holding up the bank. Then he slumps into Marshal's arms, another victim of the ruthless Gore brothers. Luke settles gently down into the dust. The two lawmen stealthily crept toward the bank with drawn guns. They knew they could expect a deadly battle from the notorious Gore brothers. And as they neared the bank, the Gore brothers stepped out, not realizing the lawmen were approaching. As they saw... When the fight was over, both Gore brothers lay dead in the dust of Abilene's Main Street. The $8,620 they robbed from the Abilene Bank was picked up by Marshal Potter and returned to the bank. And now a strange twist to this true story. When Baxter Gore entered the bank, he flashed a $100 bill, big money in the 1880s, to distract one cashier, while Jeremiah got the drop on the other cashier. When the killers left the bank with their loot, Baxter stuffed his own $100 bill into the sack. Therefore, when the bank officials checked their receipts after the holdup, they found $100 extra in the pouch. The holdup had cost the Gore brothers $100 of their own ill-gotten money, as well as their lives.